All right, I'm just going to do a little quick tutorial on cutouts. I know some of you will be doing a lot of cutouts for us, so I just wanted to go through some basics if you've never done them before, or even if you have, maybe give you some tips and tricks that you might not have known. So I'm going to do it on two types of backgrounds. Generally, the best thing, excuse me, is to do them on, we do with studio backgrounds. These are the easiest, obviously. And then we get also things that aren't studio backgrounds that we can do. So I'll show you both. And this would also include like game photos that have something other than that blank background behind it. So I'll start out with the easy thing. So there's, as I say, lots of different ways to skin a cat. You can do this in many different ways. It just depends on preference. What I do for time's excuse me, time's sake, click on your lasso tool over here. If you don't see this bar, you just go to your view and make sure that you, or the window rather, and make sure that you have everything on that you need to have. Um, or you could go with the shortcut, which is the L button. So once I have my lasso, that gives me this option, the select and mask up here. Click select and mask. It's going to probably look different for you because there's a lot of different ways to visualize this. You can do it on black, you can do marching ants, you can do the onion skin. I prefer overlay because it helps me kind of visualize. I just like the colors. Um, so once you get it like this, you go up here to select subject. Click on this guy, make sure that it's on the cloud. I just like that. You can do it either way, but I just do it on the cloud. Hit select subject. It does its magic. As you see, gets it pretty good, but there are obviously some areas of concern that it just doesn't get. So everything that's not in this pink is going to be cut out. So right now, if we just said okay, it's going to leave all of those areas that weren't pink. As you see, that's not ideal. You don't like that. Not good. All right, so go Control Z, go back to it, select subject. Let's get our selection again. There you go. All right. So obviously you need to fix some of this. Some of it I'll show you an easier way to do. I just go through with the lasso tool. As you see, I'm changing it from the little plus sign to the negative or to the minus sign by hitting Option on a Mac. I'm not 100% sure what it is on a PC, but you could probably find that pretty quickly by a Google search. Option changes it from plus to minus, or you can use these buttons up here. Intersect for selection, subtract from selection, add to selection. You probably won't use this one a lot, but you will use these two. So again, I'm on the lasso tool over here. Uh, Generally, this is the easier, just allows you to freehand. Now there are some things that I will click and hold. It'll give you an option menu here, and you can go polygonal, and it'll only do in straight lines. Sometimes this is easier for things that are straight lines. Sometimes, like right now on this, and if you don't want to have to freehand it, you can do this like so, and close it up, and boom. So as you say, I'm kind of leaving this. I'll come back to that in just a second. I'm just trying to get the big obvious parts. Now, go in, boom. This is going to be tricky because it involves hair. Anything involving hair is always a little trickier. What I will use here is the Refine Edge brush tool. So make it as big or small as you want. I need to make it a little smaller, so there's a little plus sign in the middle of this circle. Again, you can hit Option for a minus. Um, Scrolling it down here, making it small. So basically, this little plus sign is going to sample whatever it's on. So it's sampling this gray background, which is what we want. And then it's going to basically try to cut out everything that's that color in a way that's going to hopefully refine that edge. So, whoops, right now I've got it on plus, so I put it on minus because I want to take it out. So you just kind of brush around, let it go. Come on. It's not doing it very good. Hold on. My refine edge is not working very great. There we go. It is on plus. My bad. Okay. See, I can screw it up pretty easily. So as you see, it kind of gets it a little bit. It's not going to be perfect usually. So it leaves sometimes these little square areas that I don't love. So I'll go back with the lasso and fix it. All right. So like I said, you go in here and get these little spots. I'll show you. You'll see kind of the pluses and minuses of using the refine edge brush. But again, something small like that's not going to be a big deal. So I'll refine edge over here as well with this hair, make it a little bit bigger. And again, you want your um, to be, or you want your plus or your crosshairs to be right here. So it's only trying to sample out that color, and it's not going to take out the hair itself. Although it's not a perfect tool, as you see, it's getting some parts of her finger, which you just kind of have to go in and make sure it gets out. But it does a pretty good job of that. So going down, as you see, there's little parts of her jersey that need to be added back to the selection. So again, polygonal, lasso, pretty easy. That way you can just kind of do it. It goes like that. And what I'm doing to close it up, if you're over here, you can either close it up like that, where you get the plus will sign will turn into a circle, which is closing the selection, or you can just double click and it'll automatically reach it and close it in. Same thing over here, just kind of go along the outside here, boom, close it up, or you can go like that. It's just going to go a straight line from here. So sometimes that works well, sometimes it doesn't. Um, just kind of look around, see any areas that of issue. Now, this is a little bit of an issue, but I'll show an easy way to deal with that. And sometimes over here, there's little parts where it's a little bit blurred, so it doesn't get a straight edge. All right, so once you have it like that, you can see my settings over here. You can play with these settings to find a way that works best for you. I make sure I'm on my output to new layer with layer mask. Say OK. And as you see, it kind of jacks up this and makes it look a little weird. That's the problem with the refine edge brush. So what I end up doing is, oh, not that. Um, Option click, or actually not option click, command click to select. And then so I'm going to click on the layer mask, choose my brush tool, make sure I'm in white, and kind of brush in this a little bit to where it's not such a hard edge. Um, Here we go. As you see, I'm kind of getting rid of that hard edge there in the selection. So makes it look a little bit better and not as obvious that we use the refine edge brush. So, or you could do it this way, or you could just click on the layer mask, Shift F5, fill it with black. Oops. Actually, let me make sure I'm on the right thing. Fill it with white. Why did I fill it with black? Fill it with white. My bad. Okay. And it does a little bit, but it's better and more thorough if you go in with the brush tool and just kind of brush over it like that. All right. So deselect, that's okay. Now that you've got the way you like it, I like to command click, get your selection, your marching ants all around, hit select, modify, contract, contract it by 2 or 3 pixels, and then command shift I to invert the selection. And then you fill that section. Make sure again you're on your layer mask, fill it with black. And now if you turn on, okay, now you can see that there's no white line there. So that's pretty good. Um, so there you go. That's how you do a cutout on there. And then you would just, obviously you can delete that. You don't even have to have that. If you don't need it, you can just delete it and then save it. So on this one, similar situation, you can use, I'm going to use a pen tool this time, show you a different way you can do cutouts. Pen tool is a little bit more in depth and a little bit more of a pain. First of all, you have to make sure you're on path and not shape. And then you just basically start uh, rotoscoping around. A lot of people, a lot of snobby designers uh, use the pen tool and swear by it and say that's the only way you can do cutouts. I don't agree with that, but a couple of different things on the pen tool. You can either go, if you do this, it's going to give you straight lines. If you um, click and hold and drag, you get that. And then whichever way you point this little guy, that's the way the next selection is going to go. So I tell you how to do that. You can hold Option to kind of move this and point this in whatever direction you need it to go, and then release and click again. As you see, it kind of went a little bit uh, to the left. Same thing on this. Boom. You can do curves here. Again, it's going to be tricky around the hair. So around the hair, I just kind of do a little bit of guesswork because I know I'm going to go in with the refine edge brush and fix it anyway. So you can be as precise or as unprecise, that's a word, as you want to be. Just going around, going around, going around, going around. Basically, boom, 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 boom. And then when you get back over here, you can start being a little more precise. You can also do this, like if you have this big, these handles, you can click the option, and this just completely gives you kind of a new direction to the handle. Or you can take it, hit option, and move the handle around like that. Again, wherever you point it, that's the way it's going to go. See? So don't want it to go that way. If you want to go that way, don't want that. So we want it to go right here. And you can do it for longer selections, like if I wanted to point it this way and go like way down here, it's still going to do that. But you can also adjust it after the fact by hitting option and clicking on the handle and kind of moving it around that way. You can do the same thing, hit command and move around this little guy. Um, yeah, and then when you wanted to pick it back up, you just click it and look at there. There we go. Um, you again, a lot of this is trial and error. A lot of this is finding out what works best for you, what you like the best, um, and going from there. So I'm just going to go boom, boom, boom. That's a pretty straight line. My man's got a straight neck. Man, it's crazy. Um, so yeah, again, doesn't have to be super precise. So something else you can do. So once you kind of have it like that, if you're like, oh crap, look, there's a big gap there, you can add anchor points and adjust them um, to go where you need them to go. Once you're ready, you can pick it back up, say, all right, continue on. All right, so once you have your cutout like this, you right click, make a selection, feather, do not feather. This is all fine, hit OK. And there you have a selection. Similar how you had it on the select and mask tool. So just very much more tedious. Some people would say more precise, but eh, hit or miss. All right, so to get these little areas out, you can either do a new selection and just kind of go in and blah, 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 blah. That's obviously not precise, but you could right click, make selection, and then you'd go subtract from selection, and it would do that. Obviously, I didn't do that correctly, so instead I'm going to, you can also do it with the lasso at this point. If you want to freehand it, you just go in, make sure you're on subtract from selection, and again, just freehand it if you're steady-handed, and I am not steady-handed, so yeah, not terrible. Arm hair is also an issue. I just cut it off. think anybody's going to complain that I cut out their arm here. All right. So same thing over here. Actually, that one's pretty straight, so I can probably use polygonal. Select from or subtract from selection. Gonna go in. Da, 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 da. If you ever hit a point and you're like, oops, I didn't mean to point there, you can hit delete or backspace and it'll just go back, jump back one. So, boom, 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 close it up. Now we're good. All right, so to mess with his hair, once you've got it like this, you can hit select and mask, and it's going to take your selection and see, do that. So you can go up here and go with the refine edge. So that's why I said you didn't have to be as precise up here. Now it's going to be a little trickier just because it's against a different background and it's not a solid background. So it's struggling to find, yeah, it's not too bad. Struggling to find the contrast between colors. It's not so bad. So I'll just kind of go in, uh, get those little areas and see how it looks. See, it does that weird thing. So I click it. First thing I'll do is fill it with white. That does an okay job. I also will invert the selection and see these little areas out here. I'll get my brush tool. Oops. Make sure it's black. Brush tool and just kind of, but as you see, if you do that, for some reason it likes to get inside of it too. So re-invert your selection. And again, get your brush tool, make sure you're on the white, and kind of go in and try to refill it. It's coming back, so that's annoying. Again, you're not gonna, oh, I'm doing it the wrong way again. All right. So that's not the worst thing in the world. But again, you can adjust it and take time with it and really make it clean and crisp. As you see, that's that. So that's two ways of doing cutouts. Again, once you're done, you can right click, convert to smart object, hit save, and then save it as a PSD wherever.